Hello guys, what's up and welcome to Tactical Ashi Garami TV, and as per usual, don't forget to like, comment, share, subscribe, and all that good jazz. Here we are with the review that most of you have been waiting for, and this is the review for the Carbonate Hellcat 4.3 Gbbp pistol. So at the current moment, I do believe that this is mostly available in Japan, but I could be wrong, and I'm just gonna go out and just say this, that this is my favorite sidearm to date as of right now. It is CO2 powered with a 4.3 slide, which matches with the compact frame, which enables it to be used really well in CQB and all the other environments that you can possibly think of. Now, as you guys may know, I've been playing with carbonate sidearms for quite some time, namely before the channel got monetized. I used to run the Carbonate DOC 1911. Still do run that from time to time, but this has pretty much taken over as my main CO2 sidearm, especially in the colder months. And this thing is a beauty and a complete beast. It does come with all the bells and whistles, including slide serrations and a nice, very nice bull barrel with a beautiful flat trigger, okay, with an amazing response, and then awesome grip as well. So it's very slender and it can be fired easily from both a right or left-handed perspective, which makes it perfect for those of you guys that like to mix it up in those really intense CQB firefights, right? So for those of you guys that have any questions about this particular sidearm, this is your chance to get them out. We'll be diving into all the details that you can possibly think of for the Carbonate Hellcat 4.3 in all of its renditions. So guys, stay tuned, keep it locked on TAC TV, and get ready for some details, because we know this is something that you've been asking for quite some time. Let's get right into the second half. Alright guys, what's up and welcome to the most important part of this video, where we talk about the Hellcat 4.3 in detail. Before we go any further with this video, we have to get the disclaimer out. So for all the important purposes, for security and for the YouTube reviewers and viewers, there is nothing dangerous in this video. There are no dangerous or deadly firearms. Everything that you see in this video is an imitation. Nothing that you see in this video is real. It is all fake, okay? So let's just get this out the way first. So here we have what, in my opinion, is honestly probably the best airsoft sidearm that I currently own. And that is not a hot take, okay? This thing is compact and it performs really, really well in various weather conditions. And it's one of those things that I can sort of use all year round, regardless of, what's going on with the weather. If it's hot, if it's cold, if it's somewhere in the middle, literally all year round, you are pretty much dealing with consistent all-weather performance from the Hellcat 4.3. Now, there isn't a whole lot of information out there that I've seen, a whole lot of videos outside of Japan on this particular carbonate sidearm. And the same thing applies to the other carbonate sidearms as well, such as like the DOC and the M45. I think they call it the CQP. I could be wrong. There's two other really popular versions that they have out there. This one, in a sense, is, in my opinion, one of the best ones that they've made. And I remember vividly what it was like when this thing was in development hell. As you can see right now with this, as you can see, this has a bit of wear on it because I have used it quite a bit. As of the time of this recording, I have had it for about a few years now. So you can see some of the paint has faded on the grip safety as well as the thumb safety as well, and the slide release. However, the slide has held up quite well and it's taken some abuse. The beautiful thing about these grips is that if you do want to change them, they are relatively easy to change. This particular model, for the most part, is mostly stock. So I'm going to be very honest about this build and exactly what it entails. And I will give you guys, a pretty much a comprehensive review and a non-biased grade, pretty much a grade that's just based off of performance. So you guys can pretty much make your decision on, whether you want to try and go for this or not. Now, as you can see here, this particular model is not the stock model per se. And just as another disclaimer, again, I will have to do a little bit of some manipulations in order to show you guys exactly what's going on. But I won't be doing any disassemblies. But this particular pistol has been customized by Fortress, okay? Which is, for those of you guys who don't know, Fortress is a sort of a very popular airsoft supplier in Nagoya that sells some really good products. So as of right now, they do offer custom services, I believe, and they have some repair stuff too going on. And as far as some of the premier products that you can find over there, they have done a lot of custom renditions to other stock models as well from other retailers and other manufacturers such as VFC. They've done some remarkable things with the BCMs, and they've made the stock BCMs run on CO2 with GHK parts. But that's a whole other video. Essentially, what they did with the carbonate Hellcat is they did a chamber up upgrade as well as a hop upgrade. So this has two particular upgrades that I know of where they literally modified the hop and the chamber. So I'm just gonna rack this back a little bit. As you can see in here, this green hop up bucking that you see is not the stop hop up bucking. And what that enables you to do is that it enables you to hop your BBs just a little bit further. So naturally, with a airsoft pistol with this kind of inner barrel, you're not going to get that much range. And essentially what this upgrade kind of does, if you guys have seen some of my videos, is that it does give you that range. So as you can see, when I use this in fields such as, SEALs, just to name a few, or Sabage Paradise, there's so many where I've used this particular carbonate. I've been able to take really accurate shots out to 30 meters or even somewhere over that point without much trouble. So this does have the ability to shoot pretty far for a 4.3 pistol. Now, the chamber itself, the chamber the hop up tune, I won't be able to show. Yeah. Actually, yeah, I can't. I can't show you guys that without disassembling the pistol. So what I'll probably do is I'll probably do another video, maybe in the members, and we'll take it apart. I'll show you guys that in the members section. But anyway, it does have a special hop up tune customization. I believe that is the lilacs version, and it's the yellow wind up one that has a lot of fine adjustments. For those of you guys who have seen that particular hop up adjustment wheel, you know exactly what I'm talking about. It was first introduced about a few years ago, and it works really, really well. So basically, the combination of the hop up dial and the hop up chamber gives you better hop up and better consistency on something like this that runs off of CO2, right? which makes it way more efficient. Now, carbonate, for the most part, initially, they weren't really known for performance about a few years ago. I started to really get into them in maybe 21, around that time when I got my DOC. The first review that I did for the DOC got taken down because of monetization issues. So I wound up having to remove all those videos. But I still have that particular Airsoft replica from them. Same one with the tan coating on it. It still looks really cool. Now, the first generation carbonate 1911s that they made, they had a really big problem. And many of you who are familiar with carbonates, you might know exactly what I'm talking about. And it's one of the reasons why they had to include a warranty in almost every single carbonate pistol that they put out during that time. The major problem was the slides. So the whole entire system itself wasn't reinforced properly in order to mitigate the energy to reduce the cracking of the slides. So the slides were cracking somewhere around here where the rear cocking serrations were, and some of them actually started to break in half. So the first generation CO2 carbonate 1911s, people were really iffy on them. It wasn't until maybe, I think, 2021, maybe the end of 2021 and going into 2022, where they really started to get it right. And they started to make different versions of the carbonate 1911s. You know, obviously the DOC was really popular. Then they did the threaded barrel version, the night shifts. A bunch of them started to come out. And as you can really see now, especially in Japan, I'm not sure about anywhere else, the carbonate 1911s have really started to take the airsoft game by storm, especially in Japan. I'm not sure about anywhere else because I don't really see a lot of videos online where I see people outside of Japan really running these type of these pistols. So as you can imagine, because they're mostly like sold in Japan, I don't think these are Taiwanese at all. The whole entire build itself, when you look at, you know, the frame and the slide, everything is plastic as far as I'm concerned. This whole entire thing is plastic. The outer barrel itself, yeah, it's pretty much, you know, I don't think it's alloy at all. It feels like it's metal. The construction feels really strong, as you guys can see. You know, look at the finish on that. It looks brand new, just like it did when I took it out the box. But yeah, this might be metal, but it's not really heavy at all. So I would assume that it's some type of really light material. It feels like plastic, but I'm not sure if it is. The slide itself is definitely plastic. The frame is plastic. The trigger on this particular model, it feels the same as the outer barrel, so I don't really know if it is plastic or not. There's a good possibility that it might be a metal. This is a flat face trigger, so it does feel really good when you pull it, and it has a very nice trigger weight. As you guys can see here, my thumb is on the I'm sorry, my hand is on the grip safety right here. So once I squeeze that, not that much force. It's about a yeah, less than 2 pound trigger pull. So it's a very light pull, and as you might imagine, a very light reset. As you can hear that right there. So once you get into the trigger, it's really easy to sort of understand, you know, how you need to shoot in order to remain accurate and to get really good performance in CQB. And the magazine that this particular one comes with is the Gen 2 version of the Carbonate 1911 mags, which have the same mold as, what's it called again? Is it KJ Works or another one of those There's a few other 1911s that have the same mold, but this type of magazine, it fits in a lot of airsoft 1911s. So anything from the Nighthawks, I think, to the KJ Works, there's a few of them. You can actually run these no problem. And from what I understand, the way these are designed, these don't leak at all. I don't think so. They are about the same in terms of cost. I think if you have to import them, you're probably going to be paying a little bit more, but they're not that expensive at all, actually. And they're very efficient and very light too. So I like running these magazines, especially when I am playing outdoors. Who is trying to contact me? I'm doing a video. Anyways, yeah, the magazine and the whole entire package really makes the Hellcat one of the lightest, probably the most best, most comfortable CO2 1911s you can definitely run in Airsoft. I don't think that they have any versions of this that come with a dot or a plate. And to be honest with you, I'm very iffy about putting red dots on my CO2 airsoft pistols because I have tried to do it in the past with some models and it did not work out too well. I can tell you that much. I know some people have had different experiences, but I think these cycle really well. So that's not something I would really interfere with. But these sights are pretty awesome. Now, at the time of this recording, there are a few versions of this that you can get that are available, such as I think they call it the something kitty, the black kitty, some type of kitty, kitty something kitty. There's a few of them that are out there, and basically these different variations and renditions that you do see, a nice time to ride a bike, are basically the versions of this that come with a compensator, right? So the compensators that you can see on the end of them, sort of similar to how they have set up the staccato P variants now that you see with the really interesting compensators on the front. And they don't do anything, they don't mitigate any recoil. However, with this particular one, you can attach a thread to the outer barrel and you can put a tracer on this no problem. Or you can attach your tracer directly to this outer barrel without any problem. So you do have that ability, right, to mount stuff on this, such as, your tracers and suppressors and things like that. That is if you want to go that route. I find that for me, I like to sort of keep my whole entire situation more concealed and to take advantage of the compact frame of the carbonate Hellcat. So for me, usually how I set up mine, and my light isn't on here right now, is I like to just attach, my TLR Streamlight just like this and literally just put everything right into the holster, no problem. And that pretty much is the end of that for the most part. And that tends to work really well. So not only do you have the versatility of having a tactical light, but now you have that compactedness. So when you are running the Carbonate Hellcat and CQB, you can still remain concealed, especially if you are behind a barricade, for example. So that's one of the huge benefits of having something like this. And also, it draws out of the holster really, really well. So it's very easy to clear and to present than maybe a standard full-size 5-inch 1911 government or something that's a little bit longer. So if you're looking for something that's compact, something that's accurate, and something that will run throughout the year, if you can get access to this one, I would highly recommend that you do. Okay. Now, I checked online and I think these particular Hellcats, there's a few of them that are out there now, right? But for some reason, this particular one is still very pricey. So, if you're looking at something like this, you're right up there in terms of, you know, probably getting something like a Tokyo Marui or maybe a VFC if you want to go that route, or an EMG or a GHK for that, if you want to sort of throw a couple of more names into the mix, which is entirely fine. Now, I'm not going to tell you that this is going to be the sidearm that's going to sort of cure, you know, every single situation or all your ailments, your concerns. But what I can definitely tell you is that right now, for the people who do run it, this one is particularly popular. And this one was in development hell for a long time until they finally got them out by, like, I think late 2023 going into 2024. So if you guys saw my gameplay from, where was that gameplay in IG? Combat Ready IG. The Combat Ready IG gameplay that I put out quite a while ago, one of the guys that I played with, he had this particular carbonate. This, at the time, it was brand new, and this thing was extremely light. If you guys remember, if you guys saw, and I was comparing it to my carbonate that I had on me that day, and this one was considerably lighter. Still is. If I could even take out even my regular one, which I probably won't do because it's buried somewhere, right? To give you that comparison, this, even though you can't tell based on the angle of the camera, this is a smaller frame pistol. So this is my hand, right? And I'm a big guy, but I can essentially cover the whole entire replica. So look at that. The whole entire replica with just one hand almost, right? Like, most of it is right underneath the meat of my palm, right? So something like this, when you put it in the holster, it's very concealable. When you put it in your hand, it's very controllable with a two-hand grip, as you can see there. This is extremely controllable, as you guys can see. So I have literally no difficulty controlling something like this when I am in a high stress situation in airsoft where I'm dealing with some type of engagement. So that's definitely where it has fared for me for the longest time, as something that has pretty much always worked since I've had it, and has literally given me no problem. So it doesn't matter whether I'm, engaging from long range, somewhat long range, mid range, and especially the CQB, man. This thing is really nice. It's definitely something that you want to look into. And for me, honestly, has just performed really, really well outside and inside, outdoor, indoor, CQB, and also in long range situations as a support weapon. Yeah. So you want to call it that. It is an amazing airsoft toy to have, okay? For sure. So when we talk about, build quality, most definitely, and performance. For build quality, as you can see, look at the paint situation. It is what it is. I would give the build quality maybe a B minus, right? About a B minus, about a B at the most. But when it comes to performance, this thing gets an A. Definitely an A. Definitely an A. So overall for me, I would have to give the Carbonate Hellcat 4.3 about an A minus overall, which I would say is very fair for something like this. And as I mentioned before, if you want to get a little bit more than just the stock you know, carbonate, Hellcat, they have different variations. You can get the one with the compensator, which is fine. You know, if you want to get a little bit more, you can go for that, right? And they can sort of fix you up in that sense and get you what you feel you know what you want, for sure. So this thing, it runs really well for, for in terms of airsoft standards. This thing just runs. It is extremely reliable for airsoft, and that's definitely saying something. So I'll give you an example. Recently, not even recently, but the last time when I played outdoors in the wintertime, I had a Glock and I had this. And I can tell you right now that when I played and I was outside, and when I needed to take a shot, when the Tokyo Model V Glock failed with the brand new Gen 5 magazine technology, might I add, the Hellcat 4.3 pretty much, you know, put me in that situation where I was able to offer some type of defense, right? So that definitely says a lot in terms of performance. How exactly would you rate that, right? If you're out, I mean, in a sense, everybody wants to be able to play outside to a certain degree. And if you're playing outside in colder environments, gas usually doesn't tend to work. And the only thing that you can do is run CO2. So there's not really a whole, yeah, there's no options there. The only thing you can really do in that situation is run CO2. So if you're going to run CO2, you're going to have to use the system that you know is going to work. And for me, when I'm playing outside, that's definitely carbonate. Whether it's the DOC, if I'm pretty much trying to get things going from a full frame perspective, or if I'm trying to deal with the situation and I gotta go to the compact or the commander sized airsoft backup. And as far as I'm concerned, this is the ticket, right? So if you have any comments or any concerns, or if you want to know exactly, what your retail options are, I don't really post a whole lot of those type of links in the description anymore or in the comment section because I don't want any trouble with YouTube. You guys know what it is. So if you guys want that information, you know, be sure to link me. I will be posting, maybe some more detailed videos for sure, definitely about this and some other builds on Patreon. I know many of you guys have asked about, other things like the staccato, or staccatos. So I will be offering that for you for sure. So don't worry, I didn't forget about you, and I will be posting those videos. Those will be up. Just give me a timeline, right? And in terms of going a little bit more in depth, I'll see what I can do for the members for sure. So, guys, if you can, and I'll say it, I've been saying it, there's a ton of videos that'll be very valuable for you, in my opinion. Go ahead and check out that members, that value plan. I believe it's under, $2, maybe not even. Go ahead and check that out. There will be content available for everyone. So I want to post some more stuff in regards to this and also to the other popular attachments and products as well that you guys will definitely see for sure. And you guys know the drill. Please, if you can, if you like this video, don't forget to hit that like button. It's very important. It helps us with the algorithm. Drop your comments. And if you're brand new, please subscribe to Tactical Ashi Garami TV. I do appreciate you very much, and thank you so much for watching this YouTube video and for supporting this YouTube channel. All right, so This is the Hellcat 4.3 bicarbonate. This is the full review. This gets an A minus. An overall very good sidearm for airsoft for use, whether you're outdoors or indoors. If you're a tactical CQB person or you're into mil spec, mil sims outdoors, you're really hardcore with it. This thing is definitely going to be something that you want to look into for sure. Thank you guys so much, and see you guys soon.